Hello, everybody. For those of you that celebrate Easter Sunday, happy Easter Sunday. God bless you all. And to people that don't celebrate it, happy Sunday. And I hope your day is going great so far. I want to talk about my favorite band, Dinosaur Jr. They're kind of like a punk grunge band. Their first album was in 1985, but I think the band formed in 84. But they basically were like teenagers at the time. I believe the lead singer Jay Mascis is now 58 or so. I think he's going to be 59 later this year. And the way I found them, I never knew about them in the 80s or the early 90s or the early 2000s. I found them in the past 10 years on XM satellite radio. I was listening to the Pearl Jam station, and it was stuff that was procured by Pearl Jam. So I guess Pearl Jam is either friends with them or they just like their music or something, or it's just similar. I don't know. I don't know if Pearl Jam has much to say about the procured music on their channel. So I absolutely fell in love with Dinosaur Jr., started listening to their albums and stuff, and everyone was just better than the last that I listened to. It was just that good music. And then I forget what year it was. It was either 2020 or 2021. They came out with a new album, "Sweep It Under the Rug," which was like my favorite album that had come out that year. And then during COVID quarantine or so, they came out with another great one, which was a live album from somewhere up in the New England area, from a famous theater. I forget the name of the theater, but there was no one at the theater because everyone was in quarantine. So I just really just fell in love with these guys' music, and I hear not only grunge in them, so they like influence bands like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and stuff like that, and Soundgarden and probably Pearl Jam to some extent. But they were influenced by Iggy Pop and the Stooges, which was, in my opinion, back in the late '60s, one of the first ever grunge bands. Grunge punk bands. You know, they kind of started a revolution back in the late '60s when no one knew what it was, no one knew what grunge was or punk was. They were one of the first maybe the first band to introduce that to people. When everything else was like '60s sounding, they were doing stuff that sounded like it was in the '90s, and to an extent, Dinosaur Jr. was doing that in the '90s. They were playing like '90s grunge music, '90s grunge punk music, that wasn't like a thing in the '80s really. I mean, it wasn't really like readily known. A lot of people didn't know about it. So then I heard the Natalie Portman on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon talking about her favorite band, and I'm a big Natalie Portman fan. She's my favorite actress. And then I heard her talking about her favorite band, Dinosaur Jr. And I'm like, wow, she likes Dinosaur Jr. too? That's awesome. So it just kind of morphed into this thing where, like, Pearl Jam used to be like my favorite band, but now my favorite band, I still like Pearl Jam, but they're not my favorite anymore. My favorite is Dinosaur Jr. They're the best. If you want to feel like you're getting high without getting high, like on some kind of psychedelic drugs or on opioids, try doing it without the drugs. Try doing it the clean way. Try doing it by just listening to music like Dinosaur Jr. It does the trick for me. I don't know. Now, some bands that I want to show you, in no particular order, but Bush is a grunge band from England. I love this album. It's all about like the end of the world and like when the sun turns into a red giant and stuff. And then this is really grunge, but she collaborates with like Pearl Jam and stuff. Brandy Carlisle, really good artist. It's like a kind of folk rock, country, stuff like that. And then this is Stone Gossard of Pearl Jam, their rhythm guitarist. This is his debut album, which kind of sounds like Neil Young. It has a Neil Young sound to it. I think I'll bring that in the car next time I go somewhere, because I don't have XM satellite radio anymore. And then this one, let me see what's in here. Okay, this one is a really good Pearl Jam album that came out. Does it give you the year? I have readers, so I gotta 2006. So this came out in 2006. This is a really good album, so you could get some idea of the songs on the back. Sorry I didn't do that for all the CDs, but I'm not going to go back and do it. So, basically that is it. I'm a really big Dinosaur Jr. fan, and I don't understand why they're not considered amongst, like they always consider Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and Soundgarden as like the big four, right, of grunge bands. Why don't they consider Dinosaur Jr. amongst that group? They really should. They really should. Anyway, guys, I will leave you here. Again, if you celebrate it, happy Easter. And happy Sunday to everyone else. And have a great, great, great day. May the force be with you. God bless. Or whatever you celebrate. Thank you, thank you, thank you to myself. I love you.